All right, hey, how are you doing, babe?
Doing all right.
So this is the first episode of our podcast, Big Girls Don't Lie.
411.
What is the origin of the name?
Well, when we were dating, we always thought about doing a podcast and it being over pop culture and big girls don't lie. I mean, I'm a big girl and I don't lie. So I wanted it to be cute and funny and catchy. So it just stuck.
For sure. So what is going to be the basis of our podcast? What are the things you like to talk about the most in terms of reality TV and pop culture?
Well, we absolutely love us some reality TV. We love Love is Blind, not just in America, but the UK, Germany, Italy. Thank God that Netflix does dubbed versions so I can understand what's happening. We absolutely love the Housewives. Certain franchises are my favorite. The OC is my number one and always will be. Beverly Hills, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey. I'm trying to think. Potomac, I want to get into. Miami. We got a lot of content to talk about. So I think especially when the new Bachelor or Bachelorette comes out, I think that could be a new show for us to start watching. I've only seen it when I was younger. But I think it'll be really fun.
And then maybe tell them a little bit about the Christmas gift I gave you, because that was related to the Real Housewives, especially one particular subset of the Real Housewives that you're a super fan of. Correct?
Yes. I have loved Tamra Judge from the time I was like 13 watching Real Housewives of Orange County. Her and Vicky, the OG of the OC, I would love to meet them one day. Tommy got me a cameo of Tamra. I was actually really sick on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I had that flu A that took most of us out, and it was the only thing to really bring the Christmas spirit back in. It made me so happy. Another thing that brought up a thought for me about Christmas presents is Tommy also got me some Survivor gifts. We are new, huge Survivor fans. My mom was obsessed with Survivor, and now we are getting into it. We've been watching past seasons, and it's been so fun. We love Coach. We love Ozzy. I'm a big Yao Man fan. We love some of the OGs like Rupert. And so excited for season 50 to come out. So I'm sure we'll talk about that when that starts airing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm a huge Survivor fan. We both are. And yeah, it'd be great to see some great former players, especially, like you mentioned, Coach and Ozzy. And there's some other really great players
even
as well.
Suri, I'm so excited for her to come back. I know that when Jeff came out and said, like, his Mount Rushmore of Survivor players, he said, who did he say? He definitely said
Boston Rob,
who is one of my top favorites of all time. Sandra, who, I mean, how many times has she won? 2 or 3?
Twice.
I mean, she's a beast on the island. And then I know people were upset that he didn't mention Russell. We are Russell fans. We love a good gameplay.
100%.
We love a villain on Survivor. So if you love a villain on Survivor, you're going to love this podcast. I think Boston Rob came out, though, and said Suri, if she ever won, and maybe even this season 50, if she won, she would definitely make it up on Survivor Mount Rushmore for Jeff.
I think so, yeah. I think she's been a very good player, especially in... What season was that? That was Fans versus Favorites, the original, where she was part of the Black Widow Brigade.
Super good.
And, yeah, she was kind of one of the big masterminds behind that. So she's known as a very good player, and... I guess you're also talking about great players. You know, Parvati was also a member of that Black Widow
Parvati's
Brigade.
a great player, but I will have to say she's not one of my top favorites. I love Boston Rob. Sandra's good, but I have specific players that if I see them on a season, I know it's going to be great. Like, for me, it's definitely Boston Rob. Russell, his seasons were so entertaining. Some seasons I will definitely say have been like hit or miss. Like the one where it was the 3 different tribes, and it was white collar, blue collar, no collar. I will say there was some
Season 30.
definitely good episodes, but it definitely wasn't one of my top favorite Survivor seasons. So I'm praying and hoping that season 50 really brings it to the max. I do think I'm with people about them having Mr. Beast on. I'm not super excited about that. I think they should really go back to Survivor roots. They have such a big fan base. We need to bring it back to our top Survivor players.
For sure. And even in the casting, like, there's a problem of maybe, a lot of people that have played, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, they're maybe getting a little bit older and age-wise. But the cast for Survivor 50 is a little top-heavy, or it's a little heavy on more recent seasons, which makes sense because a lot of Survivor viewers probably are more interested in more recent seasons. But it would have been nice if they had more of the classic players from...
1,000%. I think for me, the new season coming out is super exciting, but at the same time, I'm with you that a lot of the players that we know and love are getting older. But I mean, they had that famous football coach on, and he was definitely older, and it was his first time on Survivor.
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah.
I am very excited for, I forget his name, you'll probably remember, the guy who either wrote or directed White Lotus. We love White Lotus. That second season with Jennifer Coolidge when they're in Italy. That is one of the top seasons of any show I've ever watched. So good.
Yeah, we're big fans. I like the show a lot. Then bringing it back to Jimmy Johnson, actually, he was well known for being a Miami Dolphins coach, as well as University of Miami. The U is going to be in the championship game on Monday. We're not going to focus too much on sports in this podcast, but that's
where I will be mostly quiet because I don't know much, but I know that a lot of our viewers will probably love sports as well. But for me, I think it was super funny to see that first episode with, is it Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah.
Yes, when it was their first episode, and people were shocked. They either knew him right away or thought he looked just like him. It was almost as if he was like a famous celebrity and I didn't know him, which is very rare. So it was kind of funny to see how they were reacting. They were like, "Are you Jimmy Johnson?" And he was like, "Yeah." So it was very funny to see that first episode.
Yeah, that was funny. That was a good one. That was one of the age-related ones. That was like Boomers versus Gen X or something, and then there was the Gen X versus Millennials. Yeah, we've gone through a lot of these old seasons, and yeah, we're excited for season 50.
Yeah, Tommy and I would love to be on a Survivor season. Probably not together, because it would probably be like Rupert and his wife on that season where, they voted out the wife to go on Redemption Island, and then he took her place. It would be a lot of that. I want to be able to really gameplay, and I don't know if it's very possible to do that when your family member or spouse is there with you. So, but that's our dream. But I will say, I think the discourse about Survivor having so many new players, most of these new players are Survivor addicts. Like, they know the game. They are in those Reddit threads knowing gameplay. And so it's not as fun to watch sometimes as a viewer because they already know, like, I need to look for Immunity Idol or I need to do this. For me, I absolutely love the challenges and the Immunity Idol searching. It's one of my favorite parts of Survivor. For Tommy, if he could, he would skip over the challenges and go straight to the gameplay talks and figuring out alliances, which I think is awesome too. But it's kind of cool, like, that we have our different favorite parts of each episode of Survivor too.
For sure. And then, yeah, I think we're both, just super fans. We love watching the show more so than wanting to play it. It'd be terrible to have to be in the middle of nowhere with no food. And then we even, tried on vacation. We tried to do the Survivor board game, and that didn't go.
I was the sole survivor, so give it up for me. And his family is definitely intense when playing games, so it was definitely like a true Survivor season. Alliances were made, and gameplay was happening. But I'm super excited for season 50. They're doing this promo where there's an Immunity Idol in every state in the U.S. and you can put your email in and you'll be alerted about it, and you get clues and you have to complete challenges. I'm not exactly sure what it looks like yet because it hasn't come out. But if you win one of those Immunity Idols in your state, you get a chance to go to the reunion for season 50, which
nice.
I think would be super awesome.
we'll try to do that for sure. And then I guess real quickly before we end off our very first podcast of Big Girls Don't Lie, let's just kind of go through some things we hope for the year in terms of the media we consume and what do we like from this podcast. Especially, what would you say are the two big franchises you love the most? Probably Beverly Hills and Orange County in terms of Housewives.
Right now, I've definitely been trying to watch old season of Orange County because it's just so comforting to me to watch these women yell at each other and the almost like the alliance is made and broken throughout the seasons. But right now we're currently watching Beverly Hills. Salt Lake City, they just released their first part of the reunion, and if anything happens with this reunion that doesn't shock me is that Meredith and Lisa will always ride hard for each other. I am definitely not on their side. I think Lisa Barlow and Meredith Marks are both really grasping at straws here with their lies and honestly hypocrisy. They call out other women on things, and if they say something, then they get so tore up about it. But honestly, that's part of the game of being on Housewives. It's almost like part of the game on Survivor. You have to be able to take it and give it. And with Beverly Hills, Erica Jane and Sutton's alliance that's happened in this last episode, I don't think that's going to last. I mean, Sutton is definitely one of my least favorite housewives of any franchise. I truly think that this last trip they went on to Sedona was very lackluster to watch and to probably experience. I mean, that last dinner at the airport, she needs to change her name back to Sutton Strack and bring back the diamonds and glamour because it's getting to be a little mediocre to me.
And to you, Sutton is such a big contrast to Erica because Erica Jane is one of your favorite members of any.
She's definitely iconic.
Housewives
She is
cast.
Hilarious. And, I want to see more of Bose's story. I think her story is really going to grow on here with her going through fertility treatments. Kyle, I would love to see what happens with her, maybe getting back out into the dating scene since her split with Mo. But also, I really think Jennifer Tilly is going to hold her own with being so talked down to by Sutton these past two episodes. It's really shocking to me to see a woman of her stature be talked down to that way, of any woman being talked down to that way in another female friendship. It's not acceptable to me or anyone I speak to about it with. And I truly think she was right about, it's like water on a rock. You don't worry about it until that water starts to bore a hole. And her friendship, I think, will go downhill just like how Sutton and Garcelle ended. And I hope Garcelle's doing well, especially now seeing how Sutton is truly. Her true colors are coming out. I think it was the healthiest thing for Garcelle to get off that show and get away from the negativity.
For sure. One thing I thought about Garcelle, obviously I'm not the hugest fan, but I'm getting more into it, and we're going to obviously discuss it weekly, but she seemed like a much more down-to-earth than a lot of the other women. They all have their pros and cons, but it seemed like she just wasn't really into it, in terms of the constant drama. So it's probably good for her that she left
and
the
for
season.
me, I've always, ever since I started watching the show when I was like 12 or 13, Kyle has always been one of my top favorite housewives of all time. And so when Garcelle and her never really got along, you would think I really didn't like Garcelle. But honestly, I think Garcelle really aligned herself with Sutton as almost a protection from the other women. And I think Sutton is just not a girl's girl. She's not kind, I don't think. And you don't even want to get me started on Amanda, this new housewife.
Yeah, she seems like a straight up
liar.
Yeah.
This financial literacy thing she's got going with these online programs, it's really just this book full of crap. It's really showing you that, you can make it really rich on being absolutely terrible at what you're trying to do. I think she's setting women up for bad financial advice. But I will say I absolutely love the new housewife, Rachel Zoe. I have been a Bravo lover for the longest, and so having Rachel Zoe back on the screen makes me so happy. Her style is iconic.
If you don't mind, just give us a little background on her. I'm unaware.
Yeah, so Rachel Zoe used to be on Bravo. many years ago, and I'm so happy she split from her husband. Her husband was, at least on the show, never really matched her in a way. And her sons it's so great to see them on screen now. She is a fashion stylist, and she also has her own line of clothing. And it's really funny to see her interactions with Kathy Hilton, who I think is one of the most hilarious people, who doesn't even know how hilarious they are. And even that scene, and I think the second to last episode, where she was telling Rachel, like, oh, your makeup's messed up, and Rachel just takes it on the chin and fixes it, and instead of getting super upset, I think like Sutton would, it's very nice to see their relationship and how she interacts with people that have so much money. Not that Rachel doesn't, she definitely does, but I think the way Amanda, I mean, even in their outfits coming on the plane to go to Sedona, they're all dressed very glamorous or just very, casual for them. And of course, Amanda comes in with Louis Vuitton logos on every piece of her clothing. To go on a hike, she uses a tiny Chanel backpack. I mean, to me, it is giving more of a different franchise than Beverly Hills. So maybe it's not a right match for this franchise, or maybe it'll be another one-season wonder housewife. We'll see.
Well, yeah, for sure. We'll have to see. And we thank you all for listening to the very first episode of Big Girls Don't Lie. And thank you dearly,
Thank you.
my partner. Thank you.